Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sports Hub right here on SBTV. I'm Michael Wengrzyn, and alongside me today are Alex Strouf and Jackson Jirik. Guys, how's everything going so far for you guys?
We're living. It's a Monday, so it's rough. A little sickness. It's that time of the year, but we're getting through it. We're getting down with this sickness, as Disturbed once said.
No, October's coming to a close, but we got
already.
I know, right?
Crazy.
Went by fast, but a great week ahead of us with some good games for the World Series. I'm excited.
Yeah, it was a really fun homecoming, I think, for all three of us. And now it's back to business here today.
Fun.
On today's show, Jackson and Alex will be debating the Wisconsin Badgers' loss, the Packers' great offensive performance, and the MLB World Series. Let's lead off with the biggest news from the weekend as the previously 6th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers fell to Illinois on the road Saturday with a final of 24-23. Badgers running back Jonathan Taylor rushed for 132 yards on 28 carries for a touchdown, but also had a fumble in the loss. Wisconsin was hanging on to a 2-point lead in the fourth quarter until Illinois kicker James McCourt knocked in a 39-yard field goal as time expired to upset the Badgers. Guys, go ahead and break this down and go at each other. Alex, we'll start with you. What the heck went wrong for the Badgers on Saturday?
What didn't go wrong for the Badgers on Saturday? That was embarrassing. That's the only way. You can put it. Illinois, a decent football team these days with the bearded Lovie Smith at the helm. But it's sad, Mike, because you look at it. I look at it this way. All we've talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks was what has been marked on Paul Chris and company's calendar, both literally and metaphorically, all season. That's October 26th. That's been circled on the calendar for so freaking long, they forgot to show up on October 19th because the Badgers just didn't show up for the most part. Only, 21 points they ended up with, or 23 points, total, which that's fine, but the defense, who I've been calling the best in the nation, looked horrendous. So it's very disappointing as a Badgers fan and covering this team and seeing this team do what they've been able to do this year because, as we've said, week after week after week, this team has the potential, the pieces, the tools to make the college football playoff. And after this loss, you just about watch that flush down the toilet drain because an embarrassing loss to Illinois? I mean, what do you do with that? What does that say to the committee? That on a resume? It's horrible. It's horrible. Everything went wrong.
It's gone. Like you said, it's horrible, but there's things that you got to take away from this game. You still have a good chance of proving to other people in the college football playoffs that you're still a good team. So come back to practice. We play Ohio State. This is a team we can beat, right? That's what got to be the mentality for the Badgers. A lot went wrong. So focus on what you can do to change that. You're a great team. You have arguably a Heisman front runner, Jonathan Taylor. Cost his team maybe a game at the fumble at the 10-yard line. That hurts.
That does hurt.
You can't do that in a game that you're supposed to win by 30 points and you don't even score 30 points. So if I'm the Badgers, you just got to come back, settle down. We play Ohio State. We got to go all the way there. We can beat them, but it's going to be hard. And I think, looking at this game, they choked. They choked hard. They had multiple opportunities. I think there was one time where they had the ball with 5 minutes left. All they had to do was run the clock out, and they didn't.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? You're not playing smart football when you're expected to win. That's dumb. That's dumb football.
Yeah.
You got to play smart football, run the clock out. You're up by 2 points. All you got to do is get inside their half and run the clock out. It's not that hard. You have the best running back maybe in the league.
No, absolutely, best running back in the nation. Dumb football is a good way to put it, actually, Jackson. That's what they played for the majority of those 60 minutes on Saturday. It's unbelievably blasphemous is how I'd put it because you shouldn't lose a freaking football game to Illinois if you're the Wisconsin Badgers, ranked number 6 in the nation, mind you. And Illinois, again, decent team. They moved up to 17 after the big win this week. Wisconsin falls to 13. But going back to the Ohio State game, this is this date that's been circled on the calendar all year long. After you were watching what Wisconsin decimated Michigan State, killed Michigan, rolled Central Michigan, they've been winning the Northwestern, they handled well. all these games, they've won handedly, right? They've been in it, and they should be in it. They should be winning every game. So everybody's had that date circled, October 26th, and now it's coming. But you have a loss on your record, right? You're still ranked 13th. You're still maybe in the conversation, but a lot needs to go right. And by a lot needs to go right, you're going to do something they won't be able to do. You need to handle Ohio State. I'm not saying you win by a field goal. You don't win by 2 points. You don't win by a point. You need a 14, 17-point win over Ohio State. You need to win out, go to the Big Ten championship game, and handle Penn State. And then maybe you can put yourself back into the conversation with one bad loss. Wisconsin's not Alabama, so one bad loss will probably still keep them out. So this brings up an interesting narrative now. If Wisconsin can top Ohio State, and then ultimately if they can beat Penn State in the Big Ten championship game, we might not even have a Big Ten team in the college football playoff, because that loss is that bad for Wisconsin that might keep them out of the conversation.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Like, the loss is horrendous. Illinois, like you said, a good team, but a team that they should have handled, and they didn't do their job. So a lot does have to go right for the Badgers, and I just don't see that happening for them. And unfortunately, it sucks because everyone was, this was going to be the greatest game of the entire year, except for obviously the playoffs. But now we don't even get to experience it, because we still get to experience it, but there's not as much hype around it.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Badgers win. Do they move up a spot? Is it a 3 and a 5, or is it 4 and 6 or something like that? Maybe they stay put. Who knows where it goes? And now, they're 13th, and Ohio State's ranked 3rd now. So it sucks for the Badgers, but you still got a chance. You still got to believe in yourself. But
so you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Jim
1 in a
Carrey,
million. But
it's slim to none right now. But again, we just went over what they have to do. But I don't like to admit when I'm wrong, Jackson. But I'm going to sit here and tell you I'm wrong. I'll even look into the camera. I was wrong about this team, and it's embarrassing. As all heck. I claim they're the best defense in the nation, and they lose to freaking Illinois. I'm sorry. Jeez.
I feel bad for you.
You should.
Let me throw in a question here for you two. With the Badgers now, with this inexplicable loss to Illinois, how much does this open things up now in the Big Ten West Division?
It opens things up slightly. I mean, obviously, Ohio State's still the front runner. Michigan and Michigan State are out of it. So
it's really
we'll
only
see.
3 teams. I think it's not even 3. The Gophers are a big maybe there. They have 7 wins against teams that are 11-2 after they've played them. So their wins are good, but they haven't played anyone, super good. They got a tough game against Maryland. I shouldn't say tough. They should win it. But it's a good test game for them to see, will they handle it? Will they go in there and win? But I think it runs through Ohio State, like you mentioned, and Penn State, or those are the top 2. But, underdog Minnesota, I'd love to see it, but I just don't know if that'll happen.
Yeah, Mike, looking at strictly the Big Ten West, obviously Wisconsin's got to beat Ohio State, and then that makes it a little bit more interesting because then Minnesota becomes the front runner, assuming they beat Maryland on Saturday. And then you have to wait until November between Wisconsin and Minnesota and see where that takes you, because it opens things up, obviously. It's still stuck with Ohio State right now. They're going to be the front runner regardless. So we'll see. This game is still very, very important. It's not as important as it would have been had they beat Illinois, the Badgers, but it's still important. October 26th, I've been saying those 2 words for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'll say it one more time for you, Mike. October 26th.
Well, don't forget, too, the Badgers still got to play Nebraska and Iowa as well later on down the stretch after Ohio State.
Yeah, not an easy road.
Not an easy road, but gotta love college football and how things can shake up so very, very much.
Yes, they can.
So, as mentioned, the Badgers are now ranked 13th in the AP poll, and as also mentioned, they will travel to a big game against third-ranked Ohio State in Ohio on Saturday. We're going to take our first commercial break. We'll be breaking down the Packers' win over the Oakland Raiders on the other side when we come back. This is the Sports Hub on SBTV.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Welcome back into the Sports Hub. I'm Michael with Alex and Jackson. Talking about the Green Bay Packers, they won another game on Sunday, topping the Oakland Raiders at Lambeau Field 42-24. Vintage Aaron Rodgers made his return, posting his first perfect passer rating in Packers history, throwing 25 completions on 31 attempts to go along with a whopping 429 passing yards and with 5 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown on the day. I'll pose one question to you guys. With the Packers offense looking this good, is Green Bay the team to beat in the NFC?
Yeah, of course they are. And Jackson, the Viking fan, is definitely going to disagree with me. But looking at this Matt LaFleur offense that's been installed in Green Bay, look at what they've been able to do. You know, weeks ago, I was sitting here complaining, yelling, saying, why can't they piece together a full game for the love of everything? And finally, they turn it around and do that. Vintage Aaron Rodgers comes back out from hiding, throws 5 bombs, a perfect passer rating, first in Packers history, runs for one. He's an absolute maniac, and he's back to prime Aaron Rodgers, which is fantastic to see. That said, Green Bay 6-1. Absolutely the team to beat in the NFC right now. I don't really see a true threat. You look at San Francisco, who's the only undefeated team in the NFC at 6-0, and they haven't really played anybody that great yet. Their schedule gets tougher. They have a win over Seattle. But other than that, I mean, it's an interesting field in the NFC. You can talk about New Orleans, also 6-1. Drew Brees returning this week. So I think those are the other two that you can look at. But I think Green Bay is absolutely the best team in the NFC, no question right now.
It's the Saints. It's the Saints. You look at what Teddy Bridgewater's come in and done. Held that team, brought him to 6-1. What is he, 5-0 as a starter now? Man's going to get paid. Teddy Two Gloves, I got to love him, from Minnesota. But he held his own. He kept the Saints up there. Drew Brees comes back. Not going to get the MVP this year because of missing those games, but he's still an MVP-type caliber player. Yep. And I think that's the reason that I'm going to go with the Saints. And they played arguably the best defense in the NFL yesterday. Obviously, the Bears weren't that good yesterday, but they still are the Bears. They're still good. They still have Khalil Mack. And they handled them. They played well. And I think that Drew Brees coming back throws more life into that team, more gas into the fire, if you say. And I think that's why, everyone's just excited, ready to go. And that's why I think the Saints are just going to – they're probably not going to finish at 15-1, maybe a 13-3 type of team. But I think the Packers are going to finish right around that same mark, 12-4 maybe. They got some tough games coming up. So I'd take the Saints. That's a team I think that will win the NFC, and I would expect those two teams to be in the NFC Championship game.
Okay, so you're at least on board that these are the two teams, I think.
Yes, but I think the Saints are over the Packers.
No, I'm with you. Not with you. I think Green Bay is the team, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'd be a liar to say New Orleans absolutely isn't a long-term threat in the NFC because, of course, they are. I mean, they've been a good team. They've been in the conversation for the last several years. Teddy Bridgewater, what he's done is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, yeah, he's going to get paid because he's done some crazy good things for that New Orleans offense. The spark they'll get when Drew Brees returns is just, I don't know how you define that. We'll see. Hopefully he's 100% when he comes back because that makes it fun when New Orleans is relevant. But that said, you look at a defense comparison. Defensively, Green Bay has been a top 7, top 5 team all year long on the defensive side of the ball. They've taken some steps back, it seems, from week 1, but still rolling and doing some amazing things defensively. Some things we never thought we'd see in a Green Bay defense because they've been so consistently bad for the last decade. That said, when you have an offense led by Aaron Rodgers, rolling the way the Packers offense has rolled the last several weeks, it's hard to see them losing another game if they play like that. Now, I'm not saying they consistently will play like that because you have slip-ups, you have flukes, yada, yada, yada. The Packers are going to lose another game this year, I think. I don't hope, but I think.
Right against the Vikings.
Yes, yeah, we'll see about that.
You want to put money on it?
Yeah, I do. But I don't see them slipping up too bad for the rest of the season. I just don't see another team in the NFC that really scares me as much as Green Bay does if I'm a team or a fan of another team. I look at San Francisco 6-0. You get that game, baby, at San Francisco. Green Bay at San Francisco, November 24th. That's going to be a really, really fun one. I assume San Francisco will probably have 8 or 9 wins at that point, as will Green Bay. So that makes for a fun little matchup on the 24th of November. Green Bay does not see New Orleans this year, but they still see Minnesota. They still see Chicago. They still see Detroit. They see several other teams that could definitely be in the conversation of that top seed in the NFC. But for now, and I will emphasize for now, Green Bay absolutely the best team in the NFC.
Well, I think the games that the Packers lose will be against the Vikings.
Biased, but fine.
Not biased, true.
Go on.
I think that the Lions game is going to be hard for them. Last game of the year, it's a divisional game. Lions are still going to be mad. They're going to hold that grudge. That's going to be a hard game.
Hard to predict Week 17 because the Packers could have 14 wins by that point. And
They could have 14
Rodgers.
wins, and Aaron Rodgers could break another bone. He could be done for the rest of the year. So, anything's possible.
Love the
but
negativity. Keep going.
I'm going to rip you to pieces. The Vikings will beat the Packers.
Okay.
And the Packers will not win the division.
Okay.
But they're still the favorite, I think, going against the Saints. Yeah, do your little math in your head there, okay? They'll win the division, or the Vikings will win the division. The Packers won't. Yes, they will. The Vikings will win the division.
They won't beat Dallas on the road. They won't beat Green Bay again. They'll probably struggle against Chicago in that second game. Minnesota's already, 3 games behind Green Bay?
One.
Only one now? They're 5-2?
They're 5-2.
Okay.
Green Bay
are you-
does have a tiebreaker.
Yes, Green Bay has the
Yeah,
tiebreaker.
you're right. They have the tiebreaker. Doesn't matter though when Minnesota's going to end up at the top.
So put this together for me because we can
Here's what
break
I
this
think-
down very simply.
Here's what I think is going to happen.
Go ahead.
Being a Minnesota sports fan, I know what it's like to lose. So
Correct, and that's why I'm about to tell you what's going to happen.
You're going to be exactly right. What's going to happen?
They're going to not win the division,
No,
probably not
they're-
make the playoffs
no.
because Kirk Cousins is the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
He's the first quarterback in the history of the NFL in the last 3 games to have a quarterback rating of over 130 and throw for 3+ touchdowns
In all 3 games.
in all 3 games.
Your record in those games are?
3-0.
So you're riding a 3-game wave
Okay, here's
behind
what-
Kirk Cousins.
I don't like Kirk
the
Cousins.
Million, the
I don't like Kirk Cousins. I
multi-million-dollar
would rather have
quarterback
Aaron
That has
Rodgers.
played like garbage the majority of his career. You like that because he probably shouldn't.
I do-
He's not a true leader. He's not a true
like that?
elite
Yeah,
quarterback.
exactly.
He's not made to lead a team like the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook, very good running back. Receiving core, great. Defense, awesome. Kirk
Exactly.
Cousins,
which you're right.
I know.
Okay,
I usually am.
I hate, but you were wrong this weekend.
About the Badgers? Yes, I
Yeah.
was. Weren't we all?
I think the Vikings will win the division, but you know what's going to happen? They're going to choke in their first game and they're going to lose a playoff game. That's exactly what's going to happen. I believe that because that's just the way Minnesota sports go.
I don't know how to bait this kid when he overturns his own argument. I just don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond.
The Vikings
The Vikings will win the division, but they're just going to go in the playoffs.
That's
because
how it
what they
goes.
do.
That's how
They're
it
not
goes.
going to win the division regardless, but I guess we'll see as we move on.
That's how it goes. Minnesota
as we roll on.
Minnesota will and can win the division.
Michael, take me to break.
All right, well, you know what? If Minnesota does lose, it probably might be off a missed field goal. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's happened before.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be the first time? Wouldn't even be the second time. The Packers have now matched their win total from last season, and they stand at 6-1 and in first place in the NFC North. They'll match up with the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football in Week 8, who are without star quarterback Patrick Mahomes. So now, after our final commercial break, we'll take a look at the World Series and play a rapid-fire round of buy or sell.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW-Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Sports Hub on SBTV. The World Series is set as the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals will face off in the October Classic. The Astros walked off against the New York Yankees in Game 6 Saturday to win the American League, while the Nats have been waiting around since last Tuesday as they swept the St. Louis Cardinals to represent the National League. Let's start with this, guys. Is there a clear favorite right now for who's going to win the Commissioner's Trophy at the end of October?
I'm going to take the Nats. I don't think it's a clear favorite, but I would take the Nats, I think. I think they are the team that is more hungry than the Astros are. I think they have – no one believed in them. Who is supposed to be in the World Series right now? The Dodgers, right? Yeah. Or the Braves. Not the Nationals. They weren't even supposed to make it past a wild card game, but they did. They're here now. No one believed in them. Why not? You know? Why not us? That's their mentality right now. And that's the scary part. They have a good pitching staff, arguably not better than the Astros, but they have a pitching staff that can compete and keep them in games for, maybe a clutch hit, get lucky, get a bloop single, broken bat. And I think that's the reason that I'm going to take the Nats is because I love that underdog mentality that they have. And why not us? Why not the Nationals? First World Series appearance. Yeah. Let's do it right now, right here.
I can't disagree with the hungry remark because I think that's super fair. You mentioned it. First World Series in team history. They shouldn't have gotten out of the wild card. Shout out to Trent Grisham. Go Brewers. Then second round, they walk off in extras against the Dodgers in Game 5. And now they sweep the Cardinals because, they play really, really good baseball when it comes down to it, and they have been recently. I hope you like defense in this series because let's run over a couple names we're going to see on the mound. Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, onward and on forth. You're going to see some crazy pitching and some crazy defense go down in the series, but I think it's going to be on the other side. Houston has to be the clear favorite right now to see what they did. And we can't say they're not hungry because we saw what they did to New York. We saw what they've done all postseason long. They are a better team, highest win total in the MLB this season. Jose Altuve might be tiny, but he's got the biggest swing in all of baseball as he hit that huge shot in the 9th inning on Saturday. It's Houston. I mean, you talk about Garrett Cole, a guy that hasn't lost a baseball game since May. This is a starting pitcher in the MLB who wasn't injured, hasn't lost 18 straight games. For those of you that don't watch baseball, unfreaking heard of and unfreaking believable. Justin Verlander has been absolutely spot on all year long. The guy just doesn't age, it seems. And those bats, and you talk about that offense that Houston has provided since 2016, 2017 range, they've been really, really good, and they have not slowed down. I think Houston wins this in 5.
In 5?
In 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be 5.
What do you think?
I'm going to say 7.
And you're going with the Nats still?
And I'm going to go with the Nats.
Okay.
It's the October Classic,
You're right. I mean, anything's possible.
Anything's possible, but I just think that the Nationals are just hungry. And a team that has nothing to lose, like the Nationals, never been there. They don't have a reputation to maintain, like, say, the Astros or the Yankees or the Dodgers that they had. They got nothing to lose. And a team that has nothing to lose is dangerous. And that's something that, I'm not going to, say 100% Nationals, but if I had to bet on it, I'd take the Nationals. Just because I think that I want them to win, but at the same time, I think they're the team that can do it. I don't think any other team in the NL would have been able to beat the Astros or the Yankees for that matter if they made it, but especially the Astros, I don't think any other team would have beat them. I think if even the Dodgers would have made it, it would have been, oh, you know what? We beat you last year. We're going to do it again this year. We have a better pitching staff. We have a better team this year. We're going to do it again, and we're going to prove to you why we're better. But I think the Nationals come in here and we're like, you know what? We don't care. We don't care who you have, who you got on your team. We don't care if you have the MLB record and wins or whatever they have. Right. Best pitcher that hasn't lost since May. Who cares? We believe in ourselves, and I think that's all that they really need to do and keep going and, win a close ball game. Win one close one, and Houston send it, make that home field advantage non-existent, and I think they're the team to, get their first World Series win.
That mentality is lovely until the bricks just start crumbling down when Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander are throwing 97 mile per hour four seams for strike 3.
That's 2 guys.
That's 2 guys in an entire squad. Houston's
two
better.
guys.
Houston's better overall.
2 guys.
Than Washington.
2 guys. Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg,
Washington can
Patrick
have that
Kluber,
lovely mentality of
Sanchez.
why not us. That's fine.
Max Scherzer and Anibal Sanchez had a combined over 12 innings of no-hit ball against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Great. That's lovely. That's the St. Louis Cardinals, not the Houston Astros.
You're right. It's not.
It's over with and done with. Beside the point. Now, looking overall, Houston's got the better roster offensively. They have the better pitching staff. It's close, but I'd say Houston probably has the edge on pitching staff. I just think ultimately, I don't think just because they claim they have nothing to lose. They have everything to lose. They're in the World Series. If they lose the World Series, that's embarrassing. Nobody's going there to lose. They have everything to lose. So that's not, I don't know. That mentality's cute when you're playing 14 U-ball, but it's the MLB. So ultimately, yeah, they have everything to lose. They're here for a reason. They're a good enough team. I just think Houston's much better, and I don't think this is much of a series.
I disagree.
Okay, lovely.
I think the Nationals are just they're that team no one expected. You didn't expect them to. You thought the Brewers were going to beat them in the wild card game. Granted, I did too until the bottom of the 8th was over, and then I was like,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, well, let's agree to disagree. But let's agree that it's going to be a great series.
I hope so, yeah. I hope I'm wrong with the 5-game prediction, but we'll see.
All right, well, let's rock out a rapid fire round of buy or sell here real quick, just end the show. First off, the Atlanta Falcons will fire Dan Quinn before the end of the season.
I'm buying that 100%. They are so darn bad. They are so darn bad this year. They suck. It's unbelievable. I picked them to be a playoff team, and they're posting 1 win so far. It's ridiculous.
Atlanta might be tanking for 2 already. The next one, the NBA season kicks off Tuesday with the Milwaukee Bucks starting on Thursday. Buy or sell, the Bucks will represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals.
I'll buy that as well. I think the Bucks are one of, 3, 2, maybe even only 2 teams that can make a real case in the Eastern Conference, assuming everything goes well, injury-wise. If Budenholzer can come back and do at least most of what he did last year, the reigning coach of the year, we have the reigning MVP, Milwaukee does. I think they have to be the clear favorite right now. Maybe with Philadelphia thrown in the mix, I will buy.
Not the Clippers.
Clippers are in the West.
You're right.
I know. LA is on the West Coast.
Yep. You're right. I don't follow the NBA, but Bucks are my favorite team now, thanks to Alex.
Yeah.
So I'm going to agree with him. I'm going to buy it that they will represent the East in the finals, and I think that, Alex, if they win the finals, I will buy a Giannis jersey.
All right. Good.
Deal?
I like it. Deal.
You want to shake on it right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You heard it here.
You heard it here first, folks.
Good plan. Last but not least, neither Ohio State nor Wisconsin will make the college football playoff.
I'm going to sell that. I think Ohio State will make it.
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to sell it as well. I think Ohio State does ultimately win out, assuming they can beat Penn State. I've been high on this October 26th date for so long, but I'm shutting down. I'm not going to relapse. I don't even know if I'll watch it anymore. Ohio State's going to beat Wisconsin, and they will go to the Big Ten championship game ultimately, and probably the college football playoff. They're a really good football team, and they deserve the spotlight, so I will sell it as well.
You were just wrong on the Badgers, Alex. I think you were just out of your element, but, well, that's all the time we got for today's show. I'd like to thank Alex and Jackson for joining me on the show, and a big thank you to our technical staff and all their help to make this show possible. Be sure to check out our Facebook page at SBTV UWSP Television and follow us on Instagram at SBTV_UWSP. You can also follow us on Twitter at SBTV UWSP_sports. Lastly, don't forget to check out the UWSP Athletics page for all things Pointer Sports. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of the Sports Hub.
Peace. Love you guys.